Hello and welcome to Henry Reel's Movie Reviews, where I take a look at films that I've never seen before that others likely will have done, and since it is Autism Awareness Month, I'm continuing my journey by exploring more films that feature autistic representation. And today we're going to head over to Canada and have a look at the Marc Evans film Snowcake. I've heard quite a lot about this. I am familiar to a certain extent with Marc Evans' work. I know he did that David Bowie musical with Minnie Driver in Wales. Has a lot of Welsh themes in his films. He also did that Patagonia film. Anyway, I digress. This does have generally good plaudits, so I'm hopeful that it will be good. Let's see if this is going to be a dreadful representation or if it's going to be pretty spot on. So we follow Alex, played by Alan Rickman, who, while taking a road trip in Canada, reluctantly picks up a hitchhiker named Vivian, whom he meets in a diner, though the two end up in a car crash which results in the hitchhiker dying, while Alex escapes unharmed. And feeling a lot of guilt, he decides to go to her mother's house to drop off some things that she had bought for her mum, and to say sorry and offer his condolences. We're then introduced to her mother, Linda, played by Sigourney Weaver, who is autistic, and after being forced to stay until a day after the funeral, as she needs Alex to put the bins out since she doesn't like handling rubbish, the two develop a unlikely friendship. This was just lovely and really funny. The cast across the board is great, and I was wondering from where I knew the actor who plays Vivian, and of course, she's Stevie in Schitt's Creek.
And how much do you think that would pay?
I'm gonna say minimum wage.
Which is what, 40, 45 something an hour?
Exactly.
Okay.
She's really excellent in this. What little screen time she has, her character really sticks with you. Also, I just think Alan Rickman's great in everything, pretty much. He really has great chemistry with Sigourney Weaver as well, who's pretty great in it. It does look like she's really researched the role, as it's quite an accurate representation, and in the script, it makes fun of poor representation and ignorance of autism in the film when we're introduced to a character who proclaims,
"I know all about autism, I've seen that film."
That was a smart bit of writing. I especially love Linda's exasperations relating to social gatherings. At the wake for her daughter, she exclaimed,
"All these people doing social in my house.
It's okay then.
It's not okay. It's horrible. When are they gonna go?"
The amount of times that I felt that way, even being around people that I like, it's innumerable. I also really like the representation of stimming, which I thought was largely very true to life. The script is just very sharp and has some great witty lines. There's a character played by Carrie-Anne Moss who plays more or less the love interest for Alex, who is Linda's next door neighbour. And when they meet, she's talking about Linda's autism, saying that, you know, she's very verbal, and Alex responds,
I had noticed.
"Oh, rest in peace, Alan." I did find it amusing, though, that Vivian was a Stereophonics fan. At one point you can see Alex listening to some of her CDs.
Just trying to find something for Vivian. Stereophonics, they're not bad.
And at her funeral, they play super furry animals. You know, when that happens, you've got a Welsh director in. But I believe the screenwriter Angela Pell is also Welsh. I may be wrong about that. But what I do know is she is the mother to an autistic son, which really adds to the insight that another writer perhaps may not have had. And that experience appears to have really helped add authenticity to Linda's role. There's also a lot to say about grief and how it affects other people, and how for people with autism they may be affected very differently to a neurotypical person. You know, Linda sees her daughter's death as more of an inconvenience than a tragedy, and she appears to move on from it because crying isn't going to bring her back, and what's done is done. You can't change it. I found this to be a rather interesting way of looking at grief and seeing it as matter of fact, just thinking, well, you know, it's a shame, but what are you going to do? She's even told by the same character who said, oh, I know all about autism, that they're sorry that she lost her. And Linda replies,
I didn't lose her, she's dead.
Linda?
which isn't typically how you see characters deal with bereavement in films.
I'm gonna give this 8 out of 10.
I really enjoyed this a lot, especially Rickman's deadpan excellence, and it certainly got my approval for representation. Linda feels like a three-dimensional character and not character decoration as people with disabilities tend to be in films. So all in all, I'd say it's a success on that front. So that's my thoughts on Snowcake. If you have managed to watch it, let me know what you thought of it. It's more difficult to get hold of than the other films that I've looked at, but still try and seek it out. It's worth a watch. As always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and I'll see you all later. Got more on the way, as always. Bye.